Hello, welcome to Her on Our Ways. I thought I would quickly do a review, I'll try and not ramble on too much, do a review on the diet I was doing prior to all my pre-op stuff that kicked off, which was Diet Chef. So let's go straight in. Okay, so Diet Chef is a meal replacement plan, but it's not just liquid stuff, like for example the Cambridge plan. It's solid food essentially. You get a variety of stuff, like you get soups, you've also got main meals that come in pouches, like for example this beef and ale one is really nice when added with just some green beans. For the lunch you've got stuff like little pasta pots that all you do is add boiling water to. And for evening meals, quite often you've also got a huge variety of stuff. This one we've got some vegetable chilli, and it comes in a microwavable meal. All of this stuff can be microwavable really, just in the microwave too. I think the longest one goes in for about 3 minutes, but most of them range between 2.5 to 3 minutes. And then for some of the snacks, for example, we've got a cranberry bar there, and that's a protein bar. The other two things that they do that I don't have any left is they've got these kind of crisps type nibbles, like they've got some paprika bites and some cheese and onion bites, which are really nice, probably why I haven't got any left. And then they've also got some proper little chunky cereal bars. So if you imagine the size of this protein one, probably a bit longer and a bit wider, and quite thick, so very satisfying really. I personally found them really sweet, but then I don't really like sweet stuff, so that probably, again, it comes down to personal preference. So going straight in, we've got Diet Chef. You have to buy a month in advance. Their general monthly plan's about £185 a month, and you get 4 items of food per day for 28 days. So that works out about £6, £6.60 a day. Normally they have introductory offers. For example, at the moment on the Diet Chef website, they've got an introductory offer of £92.50 for the first month, which works out about £3.30 a day, which is not bad. But if you do take that introductory offer, you are committing to having at least a minimum of 3 months or 3 parcels. Okay, so I'm just going to go straight into the pros and cons because I don't want this to be a really long video. So I found the pros were the food was actually quite tasty. There's the odd thing that isn't very nice. For example, the lasagna wasn't very nice. But I think with lasagna, it's one of those type of meals that you can tell if the calories have been scrimped on. But again, it could just be my taste buds, I just didn't quite like it. And their paella wasn't very nice, but everything else I tried on the range, and I pretty much tried everything, apart from the Chinese stuff, it was nice, but again, I'm not a very big fan of Chinese food, so that wasn't my favourite, but it still tasted nice. All the other stuff, like the beef nail, the sausages were really good. Absolutely loved the chilies, the curries were really yummy. So yeah, definitely loved their dinner bit. So the pros was that it's actually got a really good variety of food and it actually tastes good. It's really low hassle. Literally, I'd come in from work and I might eat one of the protein bars just if I'd saved it out, because I don't really eat in the morning. That's the thing with me as well, which is really bad, but I'm not a very good eater in the morning. It makes me feel sick. So I mainly eat in the afternoon and evening, so quite a lot of the times what I should have had in my breakfast, like the protein bar, I'd actually end up, or the cereal bar, I'd end up having it as an afternoon snack once I got home from work. And then when I was ready to have my dinner, it was literally cook up some veg, which takes 5 minutes, and the microwave, pop the pouch or the microwavable little container in the microwave for 2 to 3 minutes, and that was my dinner done. And quite often it was just really filling, really yummy. I didn't feel hungry at all. I did the diet for about 2 months, and the first week I was really astounded, which really pushed me to carry on with it, because I didn't feel like I'd been limited. I didn't feel like I was hungry, and I'd had the biggest weight loss I've ever had on Diet Chef. Again, I started it at my heaviest when I was 132 kilos, but in my first week I lost 6 pounds, which is about 3 kilos, about 6.5 pounds, which is half a stone. So that was not bad going, considering I didn't feel like I was on a diet at all. So the good thing about that as well, it teaches you about portion control. When you first get them out of the pack, you think, oh, this isn't very big. But once you actually finished eating, you do realise they're actually quite filling. Especially if you're feeling quite hungry that day, I would just add a lot more veg. But I would try and keep with the low glycemic index veg, so like green beans and stuff like that. So I suppose all of that helped. It was really good because for me in the past, where other diets have failed is, I think, because, for example, with Weight Watchers, with your points plan or your Slimming World with your sins, I found that even though you're eating what's called free foods, I'm still intaking calories. And the problem for me was the calories I was intaking, my body's storing. So with Diet Chef, it was really good because they send you, I think, about 800 calories a day, and then you supplement it with fruit and veg, which can then take you between 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day. So it's a really good way to lose weight without feeling like you're being really restricted. So like I said, pros, low hassle, huge variety, it's actually a reasonable cost, and it worked. So can't really go wrong with that. Now, for the cons, I really didn't like Diet Chef in the way that it's packaging. So if I show you again, as you can see, it's just very in your face, green and purple, and big Diet Chef across it. What I used to do with my lunch, actually, with these little tubs that you just pour water into, I went and got a little plastic bowl from a local shop with a lid, and I would actually empty out the contents of this in the morning into my bowl, and then at lunchtime at work I would just pour boiling water into it. It worked just fine, and it was absolutely fine, and they're very filling, but I know that there's still stigma around the whole dieting, and some people don't necessarily feel comfortable letting the whole world know that they're doing it, and a lot of people get curious when you're eating something different, and I hated that kind of attention. So that's the thing I hated about Diet Chef, the fact that the packaging is too in your face. Like when I've been looking at Adelina's reviews and I've seen the Cambridge packaging, it's a little bit more subtle, you know, you got the white packaging and it just says soup on it, and nobody would look twice at it, if you see what I mean. Whereas if you walked into work with one of these and put it in the microwave, somebody would be like, oh, is that a new brand? What are you trying on there? And I hated that sort of thing. So that's one of the cons for me. I didn't like the packaging. I think it should be, or could be, a little bit more subtle, Diet Chef, please. The other con was separate meals. So obviously I'm making that meal for myself. I've got a family. I was then having to also cook meals for the rest of the family. So again, £185 a month is quite a lot of money to spend on just one person. It's not too bad, but when you factor it all in, it wasn't that pricey, but when you factor in that you might have other various members of the family that also need to eat, and they eat various things, that was a con, having to do different meals, unfortunately. The next con I would say is the commitment to get the special offer meals, and to also try out all the different types of meals to know whether you like them or not. You have to buy them a month in advance. The minimum that they'll send you is 20 days worth of stuff, so it took up a lot of storage, because you've got to think, if you've got 28 of these for dinner, that takes up quite a lot of space in your cupboard. So you've got 28 of these for dinner, then your lunch and your breakfast and your snack. And these pots, they are not the easiest to store and stack up in the cupboard, believe me. So again, I ended up having to go and buy some storage units from local hardware store, you know, with the slide out drawers, just to shove everything in, which now are going to become empty because, well, I'm going to put other rubbish in there. There's always rubbish flying around. But yeah, that took up a lot of space. And then finally, and I think this con, it doesn't really apply to maybe the UK, but because I live out of mainland UK, the delivery, our local DHL was really rubbish with it. They were really inefficient, and I actually went 2 months without one of the deliveries because DHL just got it completely wrong and lost my box. And even though Diet Chef were amazing, must give you kudos, Diet Chef customer services were amazing with dealing with it, DHL actually took 6 weeks to deliver my parcel. So for 6 weeks, where I'd already spent £185 on a parcel, I had to go out and buy my own food. And it kind of, or just ate with my family as normal, and ended up, all the weight I'd lost for the first 2 months, I ended up just putting it back on. So that was really disheartening. But then all the other stuff kicked off in my surgery, so it's by the by. But that was what I was going to say, is that I would check out what your delivery is like, or maybe make a suggestion to Diet Chef to maybe start rating their delivery network, because our local delivery guys, the equivalent of DHL, were absolutely awful, unfortunately. So that's it really. Overall, I think it's a really good plan. It is a bit pricey, but it's definitely worth it. The food's yummy. They've got a huge variety. Again, I'll put links below so you guys can go and check out what's on their website and the variety of food. But I would say, if I was to give it a rating out of 10, I would give it a 9 out of 10 really. So well done, Diet Chef. Keep going and maybe change the packaging a bit. Okay, bye.